Oh, you're awake. You know, I was worried about you for a moment there, traveller. I thought you'd left me. The steady beating of your heart. Thump, thump, thump. It had all but stopped. But I can hear it now, you know. It does seem to be rising. Are you frightened of me, little one? You know, you don't have to be. I mean you no harm. My teeth. Oh, yes. They are quite sharp, aren't they? Although these teeth have been known to tear through flesh with ease. Yours is not one I wish to acquaint them with. You're far too damaged. You see, when I found you outside of my home, your skin was so cold, and your lips had turned blue. The only reason I knew you were still alive was the steady rising of your chest as you took shallow, tainted breaths. I brought you inside as quickly as I could, but I'm afraid I am not quite the saviour you were looking for. You see, some of you couldn't be saved. Your hands, I'm sure you can feel them. They were too far gone. The frostbite had taken control, and the smell was putrid. There was no saving them, and I was afraid you would lose the rest of your arm, so I removed them. No, shh, please do not cry. You're being so awfully loud. I'm not used to having guests in my home, especially not ones who make so much noise. I'm afraid these ears are a bit too unaccustomed to mortal dwellings. I understand this is overwhelming, but please do not scream. You'll only bring attention to us, and if the hunters find me, find us, well, I'm afraid your fingers will be the least of your worries, human. Hunters? Oh yes, of course they're real. Why do you think I live so far from town? If I lived close to the humans, well, I wouldn't live as long as I have. They've sworn to chase my kind to the end of the earth, and remove us by all means necessary. My own brother. I watched as he was torn apart and set aflame by those horrid hunters. And they gloated. They rubbed it in my face as I ran. But enough of that. I don't mean to frighten you any further. You've already got plenty enough on your plate. You don't need to be worrying about me, darling. My name? How peculiar. Don't think I remember my name. It's been centuries since anyone's spoken it. Perhaps we aren't in need of such formalities. I will call you my little human, and you mistress? Well, of course. You can't go back to the village. You do know that, right? Sorry, I haven't explained your situation. While I may call you my little human, it appears you are no longer such. You don't belong to the land of the living anymore, darling. When I said I was afraid that I had lost you, that fear wasn't unprecedented. I was just afraid I would be too late. And in some sense, I was. I could not spare you in your entirety. And worst of all, I couldn't even save your soul. When you stopped breathing, I panicked. The only thing I could think of was to feed you my blood. Do you know what happens to a human who dies with vampire blood in their system? Yes, you are quite smart, little one. But that does mean the hunters will be after you as well now. And for that, I'm eternally sorry. Well, of course I'm sorry. I've never wanted this life, and you seem so innocent. It pains me to taint you so much, but I couldn't bear to watch the light fade from your eyes either. When you died, a little part of me felt like it died with you. I've not seen a human in so long, I forgot what it was like to connect, to feel. No. We aren't all monsters. Oh, my poor sweet fledgling. I promise you I will train you in the ways proper. Yes, you are a fledgling. You have not yet tasted human blood, which means you are not as strong as I am. If you do somehow become unruly, I can and will overpower you. You are my responsibility now, little fledgling. But that also means your family, and I protect my own. I promise I will not let the hunters hurt a single hair on that precious little head of yours. But I won't allow you to ravage the town either. You will learn to feed, and you will start by feeding from me. Of course, vampire blood isn't as tasty as most mortals, but as I am your sire, it will be quite enjoyable for you, little one. I promise. No, I'm afraid your fingers won't grow back. You see, they died before I was able to resurrect you. protection. I will be by your side every moment to help with anything that you might need. Perhaps in a decade or so, you won't even remember you missed them. Besides, the rest of you is still quite well. I think you're quite nice to look at, little fledgling. Oh, I can see your teeth starting to come in. Would you mind if I touched them? Wow. I've never created my own fledgling before. You are stunning. Absolutely stunning. But I am getting ahead of myself. You need to rest. And when you wake, I will prepare myself for you to feed from. And then we have the rest of eternity to get to know each other. Doesn't that sound lovely? Yes. You've had quite the long day. I wouldn't blame you if you fell asleep right here, right now. I will see you when you wake, little fledgling. And then we can start our lives together. Sweet nightmares. I will see you when the sun sets.